Hi. Today we are gonna engage in an AVR platform academic workshop. So it's gonna be a brief introduction to the platform, but mainly live demos. And also I'll demonstrate how I created 300 AVR lessons, augmented and virtual reality lessons in 7 days. This is the power of the platform that we developed. But first, let me give you a brief of the agenda. So we'll start with an introduction of the platform, some of the key benefits, very short intro video. Then we're gonna actually do a couple of live demos, both of the platform and including the Vault. We're gonna use AVR Platform Creator, go through the first time user experience from an end user perspective. We can also create or edit, in this case, a lesson and demonstrate the content creation process. We're gonna jump into the Vault. The Vault is this vast library containing more than $70 million worth of applications that we have developed over 20 years with partners. And we can also show you some videos of these applications to quickly understand what it contains in depth. And after that, we're gonna go to some inspiration for how you can create lessons. We'll give you some concrete examples, both from the Vault and the platform. We're gonna go through how these lessons currently are grouped. So academia is characterized by the technical vocational training, higher education, K-12, but we're also gonna look at the industry sectors. And then finally, we'll look at as an inspiration, how I created 300 lessons in 7 days. Keep in mind that this is something I did as a hobby, maybe average one and a half hour day per day. And we'll also inspire you by selecting some of the Vault assets. From 1,000 applications, I've selected a few that I would like to share with you. Then comes the fun part. You, as a workshop participant, will be able to select your own 3D assets. So things that we haven't covered in the lessons, anything you want, aircrafts, nuclear power plants, whatever you wish. Towards the end, we look at the needs assessment forms. So all our partners, customers, what we do is we have created needs assessment forms where we identify what is it you want to do when you create or you teach using virtual augmented reality. So we have special forms for the platform and we have special forms for the Vault. And finally, we're going to discuss next steps. So I hope that if you get excited and want to pursue this dialogue further, we wish to invite you to an individual workshop. That's going to be a kind of one-on-one. But perhaps first, it's very good if you can fill in the needs assessment forms. And to help you do that, we'll send you videos with relevant webinar presentation. We'll send you a copy of this workshop PowerPoint. And we'll also send you links to the needs assessment forms. Okay? So let's get started. First of all, just a quick recap for you that have maybe not joined the webinar. We talk about virtual reality and also augmented reality. The platform supports both. Virtual reality is when you're totally encapsulated in an environment, you're engulfed in that. Augmented reality is about digital content that is overlaid or superimposed. Okay? There's a lot of people that use the EON solution. Over the last 20 years, we've had probably more than 500 academic institutions from back in the days. It used to be the rich universities like Imperial College, Carnegie Mellon, etc. Nowadays, it's gone all the way to K-12, from vocational training increasing, becoming bigger and bigger. Now, why do they do it? It's about increase in test scores. There's firm evidence. BBC published a study that attention level doubles when you're in an immersive learning environment. As a consequence, 86% of the students in the classroom improved their test results. And average is, as I already said, 35%. And there's a lot of medical evidence that shows, for example, that 70% increase in memory encoding. So if you look at a brain and studied with while we do AR versus normal, you see significant differences. Let me just share with you a little video.
So this part of the brain is associated with visual attention. It's what's occupying our eyes in the visual field. And we measure responses in both the left brain, which is attention for detail and words, and the right brain, which is attention for more the overall feel of something, the global aspects of processing. In the case of augmented reality experiences, we see levels of visual attention that are around double the levels that we see for the equivalent experiences carried out in a more everyday normal setting.
Okay. So that shows in a lot of papers that have been published that we're happy to share with you. The Journal of Engineering did a quite interesting study saying that you gain a more nuanced understanding of scientific phenomena and a more robust understanding of inquiry. And facts that if you measure lecture versus simulation, you see that it's 76%. And what you see is that the role of the teacher is very important. Simulation and lecture together is almost double as efficient. Now, where's the money in EdTech? That's a question I get often. A lot of people think it's all going to go to artificial intelligence, robotics, and blockchain. The reality is that neither today nor tomorrow will these other very interesting technology areas spend as much money as virtual reality and augmented reality. This picture is quite clear. So let's talk about figures. This is perhaps the most important slide today. Although 28% of higher education institutions, which is more than 26,000, have engaged already in some type of VR, AR development, 82% of them never moved beyond the pilot stages. And this is very important, and this is what you hopefully today throughout this workshop will be convinced of as we move forward, that the reason for this, it's not easy to create virtual reality, augmented reality application. The process is difficult, there's not enough content, and that's exactly what our platform is tackling. So let's talk about our platform. First of all, the perception. Most people, and during the last 5 years I've had the honor to travel to more than 80 countries. I've totally traveled to 130 countries, but of these 80 countries, what I've seen talking with vice chancellor, rectors, all levels in academic institutions, that they think about augmented virtual reality like the top of an iceberg. They just see this, they see the gadgets, and then they try to do things, and then they discover that there is a huge underbelly here, and they run into problems. And there are three specific problems that they experience. One is getting the data in. There's more than 120 different formats, from computer-aided design, MRI, medical information, 3D, GIS, etc., etc. And they can get it in. And that's where Eon's platform is, unique. We can import 120 different formats in native from more or less, and I'll show it in a second. Now, the second problem is so you got the data in, the 3D data, but it doesn't do anything, okay? So you have to do something, you have to bring it to life. And normally you use game engine or programming to bring that simulation to life. So when you push a button, something happens. Now, that is the problem because game engine requiring programming scripting skills, and 99.5% of all people in education, I would say teachers, don't know anything more than, like me, PowerPoint. So what we've done is created a platform that can do it easier than PowerPoint. Everybody can do it, okay? Now the last part is to, once you create the application, to publish it. And every day you open a newspaper or read Google News or whatever, you see new hardware coming out to the market. Microsoft has HoloLens, Facebook has Oculus, Google is supporting Magic Leap, etc., etc. And what's nice about our platform is that we are totally agnostic. So we support more than 30 formats. So all headsets that are coming out, we support. All screens, we support, etc. So that is, in a nutshell, the platform. So you can take data in, you can, as a user, generate your own content, you are able to publish it. You can also manage all your users, what they can access. You can also manage all your content that you create and your students create. And of course, it's all embedded in the cloud, service, content integrated together. You can also do a number of interesting other things. You can do multi-user experiences where you have students or teachers around the world and experience the same virtual reality, augmented reality together. Of course, everything is stored in the cloud. We have a very sophisticated analytic engine, which allows you to essentially not only see if you pass the test or not, but how skillful are you to perform a task, whether it's an emergency landing of an aircraft or rescuing a patient's life. And that's done automatic, like in a simulator. We can integrate with any LMS that you wish. We, of course, connect our augmented reality application to IoT with geopositioning, and we use AI both for image recognition, text-to-speech, and quality assurance. All in all, the platform is secure. The US Air Force is using it, for example, at the moment. And we go from learning in Creator to training in Virtual Trainer to assisting and performance in Augmented Reality Assist. So our solution is the only true end-to-end solution for augmented virtual reality knowledge transfer. And we have on the left side here the platform. And the platform allows you to develop, run, manage, access, store, host, and distribute augmented virtual reality. And we call the concept easy. What do we mean by that? It's effortless. It is affordable, starting at $12 per month per student. It is self-service, so you can use it for build it yourself. And it's interconnected. Virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, mobile, any asset you create can be used in any shape or form. And we also have access to the world's largest library of assets. We are pushing 1 million, and our goal right now we are 870,000. We expect by the end of this year or Q1 next year to exceed 1 million. Every day I wake up, there's more and more assets because of our global partners. On the right-hand side, you'll see the Vault. The Vault is essentially a vast catalog of augmented virtual reality applications that we've done over the last 20 years. And we've done it not ourselves, but together with partners. So what's specific about this? These are very advanced. They address specific needs like welding or heart surgery or ophthalmology. They support sometimes very advanced systems, not only mobile phone. And most important, they are certified by real academic experts. And it's also, the Vault is also a marketplace. So you, as a partner, can develop applications and put them on the Vault. 41 million people have downloaded our viewer so far over the years, and then get 70% of the revenues according to the price list. So in essence, our end-to-end solution is a bit like a pyramid. On the bottom of the pyramid, you have the platform that's extremely wide and covers almost any topic. And you have to hold me accountable on that because we'll put it to the test in the live demo any second. On the top, we have the Vault. This is the complete applications that address specific needs. And in between, sandwiched, we have the marketplace, which is formerly a part of the Vault that allows partner and customer developed application to be commercialized and to be monetized so you can get passive income as you develop things. So easy, effortless, affordable, self-service, interconnected.
Welcome again to the AVR platform. Today,
And I'm going to show you a very brief video that describes the whole process in a brief way before we go to live demo.
today we're going to take a sneak peek at our next major release with some new features, a fresh look, and a streamlined user experience. Our focus for this release is easy, effortless, affordable, self-service, and interconnected. Let's go ahead and sign into the platform and get started. Welcome to our library. We can now filter lessons by 3D and 360. For teachers and trainers, creating lessons is easier than ever. Let's start with a 3D one. Educators can choose to browse or import 3D content to get started. Let's first browse. With this release, we have further integrated CG Trader's massive 3D library for even more options when creating lessons. Let's go back though and choose to import our own 3D content. With this release, the AVR platform now supports AutoCAD. Let's import this CAD file to create a new lesson. It's now been converted and I've added some contextual content. Let's jump into virtual reality and explore this lesson we just created. This release introduces major updates to Virtual Trainer, including this handy first-time user experience walkthrough for first-timers. We can now access all the lesson elements in VR, like voiceover narration and this YouTube video I added. This allows students and trainees to immersively interact with the entire library of 3D lessons created by educators and trainers on the mobile app or PC. Another major update is the 360 module. Educators can now use 360 media to create immersive lessons that are more environmental based. Again, we can choose to browse or import. Let's import this 360 image. We can add contextual information, videos, voiceover narration, quizzes to complete our lesson. Students and trainees can now learn using 360 lessons either on PC or on a mobile device, creating a truly experiential learning session. Finally, this release also brings major updates to our mobile app, including all these new features and the improved user experience, giving both students and educators easy access to the AVR platform.
Okay, so you probably saw the value of effortless, intuitive, easy to use, and you can make them available outside the classroom anywhere, anytime. And you can create and refine individualized lessons. Affordable, as you can see in the image, whether you're a student, teacher, or a school, there's no major investment in hardware. You can basically afford a package that suits your profile, and you can co-invest if you want to a big center, which we can talk about in the webinars that we already described. Self-service, any model among almost 1 million models, or your 360, or you import your own model that you created. We support, as I said, 120 formats. We can also make information retrieval and content population. We have linked in with AI in Google. That's a whole description that we can dive into later. And of course, as I said, upload your model. Interconnected. So the idea is multimodal across all realities. So we don't care if it's virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. All the assets you create work on all these formats. And then there's some interesting things happening also. And I want to highlight 2 features that we may or may not go into the live demo with a quick video. And one is about the ability to provide standard operation procedure or step-by-step instructions by someone that doesn't know how to do VR or AR. So, with each other over the web. So let's see here. Now on. So the idea is that, let's say you have an engine like this one, and you need to teach someone how to replace a filter, a part, or to do some procedure. And you don't know anything about virtual reality or augmented reality, but you know how to do it. You are the specialist. So with the creator, you can either on your mobile, your tablet, or in a headset, show me how to do it. You do it, and then you send that to me. I look at it. It's not a video, it's actually an interactive session. And then I do it myself and I get evaluated. And the assessment, how well I did, is generated automatically by the system, so I can see if I'm qualified for this or not. Let's have a look.
Creator AVR, you can take lesson creation a step further than ever before with a new interaction recording feature. While recording your voiceover for a lesson, you can now also record your movements and interactions within the app itself, allowing for more precision when explaining specific details of any object.
So, the proper order for disassembling a V-twin engine is like this. You want to start with the camshaft before moving on. So, the proper order for disassembling a V-twin engine is like this. You want to start with the camshaft.
This new feature is incredibly powerful for providing step-by-step instructions in their proper order. Also new to Creator AVR, you can forget being limited to one-on-one sessions. With the new collaboration feature, you can now allow others to learn with you through Creator AVR's lessons. With a simple email invitation, 2 or more students or trainees can experience the same lesson at the same time, making it ideal both for group studying as well as instructors looking to teach more efficiently. Lastly,
Okay, so now this is the very interesting thing. So let's say you learned using Creator, then you train using Virtual Trainer. Now comes the last juicy part. What you can do actually is to, let me give you an example. So let's say you bought this Lamborghini that you see in the image, and you drive it to Vegas, and on the way, one of the wheels, you get a flat tire, and you have no clue how to do it. With AR Assist, you just hold your phone against the car and recognizes with artificial intelligence the wheels, and it then gives you the step-by-step instruction how to do it. So it's not just virtual or mobile, it's contextual knowledge injection, when you need it, as you need it, in the context that you need it.
AR Assist brings powerful new features to help your workforce perform better, including improved HoloLens support and Vuforia's model targeting feature, which allows digital twins to overlay with their physical counterparts in real time. Now, your AR Assist routines and instructions can be anchored onto the real-world subject matter itself and viewed through a mobile device or AR headset, opening up new possibilities for vocational training and on-site support. With these new features, the entire AVR platform has never been more accessible or efficient.
Okay, are you excited? Sure I am. There's other things that I would like to point out. I get a lot of questions around, why is AVR so effective? Why does it lead to better retention? How come that students learn faster, remember longer, decide better? If you think about it a little bit, and maybe you think about a simulator, that's a good example. In an aircraft simulator, I don't think anyone in this webinar or the workshop would question whether you would like to fly with a pilot that has done a paper-based test on how to crash land an aircraft, emergency landing on water, versus, on the other side, doing it in a simulator where they've done it for 400 hours and they have muscle memory. The reason for that is you have situated connection. So the pilot doesn't have to think through, he has muscle memory, and he has transferred that knowledge in the context of the simulator. There's another thing called immersion and flow. That's when we do exploration, mastery development, and you're also motivated. So if you look at the image to the right, I created that lesson personally. It's an ancient Egyptian mortuary ritual. I've seen a lot of videos about that, and I was wondering, why is this scale there, and how does it work? In virtual reality, in my lesson, I can question that at any time. I don't have to watch a video. I can explore and inquire. The third thing is pattern recognition. In real life, we learn by doing. We learn in 3 dimensions rather than 2D. And I've created a special lesson on how fossil fuel formed and I will share that with you in a second. It's also about personalization and psychosocial moratorium. In an operation room, you wouldn't take risks that will endanger patient life to learn or to explore. But in virtual reality, it's safe to do that. We learn by exploring, we learn by doing mistakes, and you can safely do that in a virtual or augmented reality. Okay, so let's talk about some Vault applications. So we have a range, thousands of applications, from geological review, ophthalmology simulations, anatomy dissections, augmented reality logistics for airports, training experience in an AR controlled environment, mechanical engineering applications, compressor training, virtual laboratories. This is an important one because today academic institutions like yourself spend millions of dollars to buy equipment for labs, but you can't keep up with all the various equipments that come. By the time you install a CNC machine, it's already old. But you can do it virtually. Gears training, waste management showcases, etc. So let me give you some examples of lessons. These are lessons that I created myself. I created more than 300 lessons in the last 7 days. We released the platform a week ago, so I tried it and I wanted to see. I spent about 2 hours on average. So I focused on nuclear power plants accidents, how fossil fuels formed, the operating theater orientation. I also learned how to replace the generator on a helicopter, and it's a hands-on demonstration in virtual reality. Pain removal with anesthesia, how diesel fuel injection actually works. I actually didn't have a clue, but I learned that in virtual reality as I was doing it. I visited a Buddhist temple that has a lot of lesson in knowledge injected into it. Cataract lens surgery. So I have a full lesson now how to actually conduct a cataract lens surgery, step by step. Breast cancer symptoms. What are the top 10 symptoms of having breast cancer? I can see that most of you don't probably know the most distant man-made object from Earth. Yes, is Voyager 1 and 2. We still communicate with it. Learned a lot by doing this lesson. And also by looking at the Hubble telescope, I understood that determining the rate of expansion of the universe has been accomplished by this specific telescope. Was in India. I saw some pigs in the garbage, and I learned now within this lesson how pigs get different illnesses when they eat this garbage, and that's what this lesson is all about: environmental issues. There is an idea that all the civilizations are in Egypt or in Mesopotamia, but in fact in Turkey they found Neolithic houses, and this is what this lesson is all about. It's called Catalhuic, 7,500 BC or 9,500 before Christ, and there are different type of structures that date back to 12,000 before Christ. How they looked, what's inside, it's all described in this virtual reality, augmented reality lessons that I created. So, okay, are you excited? Let's go for a demo.